Hi, my name is Karen Trasinos, and I am the 2011 Region 2 Teacher of the Year from Virginia Beach City Public Schools. This year, as well as the past few years, I have been the instructional specialist for pre-K and kindergarten in Virginia Beach. However, prior to that, I was a kindergarten teacher for 18 years. So this topic is very important to me. It's very close to my heart, and it is very important in the classroom. So the topic we're going to discuss today is classroom management. It is not only important in elementary, middle, and high school to find ways where you can equitably manage a classroom, but it is so important for instruction because you're maximizing student learning by minimizing any type of disruptions or other types of transitions that would take away from the instructional time of the students. So today I'm going to go over some tips with you, especially for new teachers. This is an area that is so important, and it's really pertinent at the beginning of the school year, because once you set in routines and procedures with your students, you will be able to flow throughout the rest of the school year, really doing a lot of collaborative work in the classroom, which we know is best practice. So one of the first tips I want to share with you is to give explanations before expectations. The buzzword classroom expectations or behavioral expectations has been around for a very long time, but it's not necessarily about expectations. It's about explaining what you would like your students to do. So that would include intentional instruction of behaviors, teaching what it looks like and what it sounds like to do certain things in the classroom. For example, what does it look like to perform a task? What does it sound like when I ask students to come from the tables to the carpet? What does it look like when I ask them to line up in the hallway? What does it sound like when we walk from one place to the other? We can't ever assume that just because a student was in school before, that they know what your expectations are for your classroom. And by setting clear expectations and allowing students to practice, to model, reinforce, and then practice again will really give your students the opportunity to show you that they are ready to learn. Another tip is what I like to call the ABCs of classroom management. Always be conscious, clear, and consistent. Your students want to know that what you say is what you mean, and what you mean is what you say. And that way, we're treating all of our students equally. But more importantly, be clear in what your expectations are, and show your students and give your students the opportunity to truly show you what they are able and capable of doing. This is where transparency lives in teaching. And the last tip I have for you today is what I like to call the 3 R's of teaching. It's not necessarily reading, writing, and arithmetic, but it's rapport, respect, and relationships. Your students need to know that you love them and they have the ability to love you back. You need to treat each student with respect. You need to create a positive rapport with each student. And that might include greeting them at the door every morning to say, "I'm so happy you're here today." That might always be being consistent in a closing circle, in a morning meeting, so you can get the family back together, the classroom family, and you can talk about what worked well today and what things we need to practice for tomorrow. And that's not just with the relationship with you and your students, but that's the relationship between students and students as well, and with you and the families of your students. So I hope these tips will help you have a wonderful and successful year. Please remember that the students that you have are meant to be in your classroom, and you are there to make a difference in their lives.